Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. This week we're talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 2, the episode Inca Mummy Girl. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
I'm Justin.
This episode originally aired October 6, 1997, attracting 4.7 million viewers. In this episode, to prepare for Sunnydale High's cultural exchange program, Buffy visits an Incan exhibit with her classmates. Buffy is paired up with an exchange student with... Her mom signed up to have an exchange student come visit. Xander becomes jealous when he learns that she will room with a guy.
As he usually does.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The students learn that the mummy in the museum was of a beautiful Incan princess, sacrificed by her people to save them from destruction.
Because, that's what they do.
Willow and Buffy express remorse for the princess dying before she could really live her life. Mm-hmm. After everyone leaves the museum, a class clown breaks the seal on the dummy while trying to steal it. The princess wakes up. For the curse is broken, and pulls the student into her coffin. She mummifies him by kissing him on the lips. When the Scoobies rush to the museum, they encounter a sword-wielding guard and the remains of the missing student. Buffy's exchange student arrives at the bus station, but the mummy girl sucks out his life too. The 500-year-old suddenly becomes a beautiful teenager and poses as Ampada, the boy who was supposed to stay with Buffy. Everyone simply assumes that the information was wrong about her gender. Mm-hmm. Xander is smitten with her, and the two begin a relationship. Giles asks Ampada to decipher the seal from her tomb, and she explains, reluctantly, that it describes a girl who was chosen to die to save her people, and a bodyguard who will keep her from straying from that path. She also tells Giles to destroy the seal completely. The bodyguard appears again and again, trying to stop Ampada, until she manages to use her kiss on him in the bathroom, sucking out his life to keep herself from dying again. Buffy and Ampada bond over the tale of the Incan princess. Ampada stating that the princess was forced into her destiny by her people, as they claim that she was the only girl of her generation who could save them. Buffy miserably notes that this parallels her own life. Xander asks Ampada to the dance to enliven her. She gladly accepts. Willow is downcast to see her crush with another girl. Meanwhile, Buffy and Giles open Ampada's trunk and discover the real Ampada's body. Giles tries to piece together the seal while Buffy tries to save Xander from Ampada's deadly kiss, but Ampada feels too much for Xander and leaves for the museum. She tries to stop Giles from putting the seal back together. Buffy saves Giles, and Ampada starts to deteriorate as she tries to feed off Willow. Xander shows up and insists that if she must feed on anyone, it should be him. Despite Ampada's feelings for him, she is quickly deteriorating back into a mummy, and is willing to kill him to remain alive. Buffy shows up to fight her, saving Xander, and in the battle, Ampada weakens to the point of returning to her dead form. And credits roll.
Yes.
So, what did you think of this episode?
Typical kind of love story in this sort of show.
No. Well, this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's normal for this
It's not
show.
a typical love story, it's just for this show.
Nah. But as it sort of was, now I wasn't really sure it came across near the end in my case that Ampada decided to go and take the life from Xander. It sort of fell, I think, to the point in my mind of her still fighting with herself whether or not to take Xander's life because of how much she spent time with him.
Yeah, alright, so, beginning of the episode. Buffy and Giles training.
Yes.
It's so good. I love when Buffy goes to kick Giles and he's like, no.
Fine.
Fine, you have your way. I will now go introduce my shoulder to an ice pack. Buffy and Xander have a chat about Willow.
Yes.
And this is right as Willow is walking into the library.
Because of course it is.
Yeah, of course it is. And it's like...
Sadness.
It's the worst, because Buffy says something like, surely you've thought about Willow as, like, more than a friend. Yeah. And Xander's like, no, not really. Like, she's my best friend, but it's never really crossed my mind. And it's, like, right as Willow's walking in, and it's just like, oh.
Again, the absolute perfect moment to say those particular things, just to give that wonderful emotional punch to it.
It's like, you're single. She's single. You're best friends.
Well, and they're adorable together.
And there might be chemistry, but there isn't because Xander is a dick.
Why is it that the two wires never came together and be like, hey, Willow, do you want to go out on a date?
As in, you, and I'm not thinking about Buffy.
Well, in Xander's defense, he isn't in this episode.
At least he isn't, no, because a new girl came in, and she ended up being the Inca Mummy.
Yeah, Xander has issues sometimes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love how one of their classmates has gone missing, and they joke about the mummy rising, and then they're like, oh shit, that could have actually happened.
God damn it, this is the Hellmouth.
Oh wait, that's actually happening, isn't it? God damn it.
I love how like self-aware the show is. Like, yeah. Oh, so Xander has one of my favorite jokes in the episode, where Buffy's telling them like she's gonna have this foreign exchange student stay with them, and like, oh, maybe we can get him to translate this ancient seal. And Xander's like, oh, the old ancient seal. Come on, how many times have I used that one? And I'm just like, the fuck, Xander.
Tell him to keep his parts to himself.
It's so good. Oh, okay. So, at one point, Willow has this toque on when they're outside with her like overalls and everything, and there's just something inherently funny about it to me. I don't know what it is. It's just it made me laugh.
Hope you do's.
Xander meets Ampada and is immediately smitten.
You know, as Xander does.
Well, yeah, she's breathing and has a pulse and can speak.
Uh-huh.
Also, it turns out that she's a monster, but Xander doesn't immediately know that, so she's perfect!
Well, he has no way of knowing. So, Cordelia is complaining about her foreign exchange student because they don't even speak American over there in Sweden.
Ah, yes. The wonders of Cordelia.
American's the language, according to Cordelia.
Well, of course it is. And then we get to meet a new character, Oz!
Well, technically we meet up with the guy that Cordelia was kind of dating, but yeah, afterwards
I don't
the guy
care.
introduces with Oz.
Oz!
He makes his appearance.
Yes.
He makes a couple of appearances, but this is the first one. It's Oz.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, Oz was fairly decent. Kind of meeting up with his guy friend after seeing Cordelia, and it's like, man, she's a cool girl. It's like, yeah, if you like that sort of thing, alright.
I love how Oz is like, I'm not impressed by any girl who can walk and talk. The other guy's like, she doesn't have to talk. Oh.
When later in the episode, while they're performing the concert or band in the bronze or whatever, he's like, who's that girl? And then the guy thinks he's pointing at the Incan chick, and he's like, no, that one, the Eskimo.
Yeah.
Which is Willow.
Willow has a great line in this episode where she's talking to Xander, and she's like, why are you suddenly so worried about looking like an idiot? Oh, that came out wrong. So, Xander and Ampada go off to eat snack cakes. That's not a euphemism, that actually happens.
Yes.
Xander's trying to teach her how to eat, like, Twinkies.
Yeah.
And it's super funny.
Yeah.
Until you realize that they each had to eat, like, 10 of them when they were shooting that scene.
Oh, God.
Because it had to be shot multiple times.
Oh. That's nearly as terrible as another particular actor's story I know of.
That sounds actually terrifying. Unless you like those.
Even if you like them, having to eat 10 in, like, a couple of hours? Ooh.
That might be a bit much.
Okay, so in the library, Willow's talking, and she's like, well, I can either wait for Xander to date every other girl on the planet, or move on with my life. And Buffy's like, that's the spirit. And Willow's like, I haven't chose yet.
Yeah.
There's no real choice here. He's not going to notice you in that way.
Well, aside from time and other particular things, but yeah, those are kind of a little bit far off.
Yeah,
still.
after the fact, he meets every other girl on the planet and decides none of them are for him.
Well, who's to say?
I don't know the rest of this series.
Also the writers.
Unless he gets killed off sometime later, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see what happens.
Wah.
I love Xander asks him, Potty, you're not a praying mantis, are you?
Yeah, he brings up his previous dating issues.
Well, yeah. I wonder how those praying mantis eggs are doing. Oh yeah, we forgot about them. Or we're just never going to use them again.
They were most likely cleaned up by the janitor and crushed in the garbage. It's all good.
So we see Willow at the bronze in her Eskimo outfit, and she's just adorable.
Oh yeah.
It's great.
It wasn't the first thought that sort of came to mind, but yeah, on the whole, she doesn't look terrible in it.
Seth Green is on stage, or Oz.
Yep.
Is on stage pretending to play the guitar.
Yeah.
Because they intentionally shoot him from, like, chest up, so you can't see his hands when he's pretending to strum.
Yeah. I honestly thought it was bass when I first saw it. It's like, oh no, there's 6. He's playing guitar.
I didn't look that closely. So Oz sees Willow in the crowd, and he asks the singer, "Who's that girl?"
Oh man, it's the Willow, and oh man, it's the foster relationship triangle ticket.
It's going to get good. I love Buffy has this line. What girl travels with a mummified corpse and doesn't even pack lipstick?
The reason why she suspects that Impada is the Incan Mummy Girl.
Well, of course it is.
Well, you gotta remember her point of, I think it was one of the earlier vampires, where...
Yeah, she picked out a vampire because of what he was wearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in the first episode, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so when Impada goes off, she's at the dance with Xander, and she goes off with that other guy.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Jonathan.
Okay.
He's going to show up a lot.
Supposed gasp?
Well, the guy that was spared by...
Yes.
Okay.
He's going to get in numerous near-death experiences.
Because?
It sucks to be him.
Because he's an actor that they had on their Rolodex that they would call in whenever they needed someone to have a near-death scene.
Huh.
But never actually dies.
Huh.
He must need to go through a lot of therapy, at least in the character sense.
Well, he's going to get a larger role in later seasons, but in the first couple of years, he's just kind of there to almost die a lot.
It's like, okay, this particular thing needs to supposedly kill a creature to get it, but we don't want the person to die immediately. So we need an actor to do this. It's like, alright, after the scene all happens, like, perfect, let's keep going. It's like, wait, what do we do with that one actor? It's like, what do you mean? Well, he was in a near-death experience, but he's not dead yet. So, what do we do?
Put him in another one.
It's like,
another one, and another one.
Do we have any other scenes where a person nearly dies from one of the monster? Takes out a giant Rolodex list of a whole bunch of times. Yeah, we have a few.
Anyway, near the end of the episode, we see Buffy and Willow talking in the bronze, and they go off, and Seth Green is literally standing behind Willow.
Yes.
Because he's that short. That he can actually hide behind her. And he's just like turning around like, hey, who is that girl? Who is that girl? It's great. So at the end of the episode, Buffy and Xander are walking through the campus having a conversation.
Yeah.
And Buffy obviously relates what Ampada went through to her life.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the very end of the episode, Xander and Buffy have one of my favorite exchanges. Where Buffy says something to the effect of, I understand what she was going through. She was fated to die. Like, I went through that. And then Xander has a great line that's just like, yeah, but you did it. You actually died. And then Buffy responds, yeah, but I had you there to bring me back.
Aww.
Which I always love that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it really does a really good job of illustrating their relationship at this point in the series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool. Alrighty, so, music time. So, there are 2 songs in this. Both are played by a band called 4 Star Mary. They will be the ones who do all of these songs for Dingoes Ate My Baby.
Yeah. The namesake of our supposed podcast.
Yes. So they play their songs Shadows and Fate are the 2 songs that they play. Okay, so international titles. In Finnish, it's not terribly exciting. It just translates to Inca Mummy. That's like one word.
Mummies! Inca Mummy.
Yep. In German, it's The Secret of the Mummy. In French, The Inca Mummy. And in a whole bunch of other languages, The Inca Mummy. And in Spanish, it's just The Mummy.
Mummies everywhere.
English head at best.
Yeah, none of them are terribly great this time.
Well, it's just kind of a case of this episode has a mummy in it.
Inca Mummy Girl.
So, Justin, what did you think of this episode?
I wanted to destroy Xander.
Why?
I don't know. He's terrible.
He's
a dude.
He's not terrible.
Again, he's that dude.
Least to Willow.
He is kind of shitty to Willow.
Yes.
But he is genuinely charming when he's with Ampada.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but...
As it sort of sits, I reiterate, he's a dude.
I know what you're saying, but I don't think he's as bad as you do, apparently.
Okay.
Most likely, there's going to be someone that comes along that will most likely be much worse.
Somehow? I don't know.
There will be people who are worse.
Meh.
Dave, what did you think?
It worked. There were definitely some interesting moments. I sadly don't exactly share Justin's supposed decent amount of hatred for Xander. It kind of sits on a scale with me. It's like, oh wow, Xander's actually doing a decent enough job. You question why he didn't get a girlfriend earlier, or actually went with totally friend zoned Willow, and right behind her back. But then I got over that, and it's like, yeah, just kind of going through the rest of the motions. It works episode-wise. Nothing spectacular. I'd have to probably give it 6.
Okay. Justin, did you have a score?
Yeah, I'd probably give it about a 6.5.
Yeah, I'm probably with the same, around a 6.5.
I mean, it sure also introduces a new character, kind of briefly. It doesn't really show too much about the character other than his interests.
Yeah, we get to see him play on stage.
Yeah.
And that. He isn't going to get a ton to do for probably a couple episodes, I think. I think maybe Halloween is when he starts to kind of properly get more introduced. But our next episode is not Halloween.
No.
It is Reptile Boy.
Oh dear.
Reptile Boy.
In this episode, fed up with Giles constantly pressuring her to train and Angel's refusal to go on a date with her, Buffy defies both, going to a fraternity party with Cordelia.
Oh no.
However, things turn out badly for the two when the Delta Zeta camp of fraternity brothers turn out to be a cult that sacrifices young women to a demon in exchange for wealth and power.
Oh god.
Of course.
I question where the thing comes in, but I guess I'll find out.
Oh, there's gonna be some fun CGI.
Oh no. Grown.
Trust me, Justin, you'll love it.
I'm not sure.
You probably won't. I'm gonna warn you right now. It's going to be a thing.
It'll be a thing. Great. I like things.
But the episode after it will be legitimately great, so that'll make up for it.
I would hope so.
Yeah, we'll sort of see how it goes, I guess.
Alright, so that's going to be it for this week. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
I'm Justin.